Warning. This program contains very strong language from the outset. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Hardlines, the podcast where we talk about Roast Battle UK, where usually we take apart a roast battle round by round, figure out what it takes to write and perform the best in insult comedy in the world. And as usual, I am joined by Shalaka Kurup.
Hey Drew, how are you doing?
I'm very excited because what's different about today is that we are also joined by the man, the myth, the legend, host and MC of Roast Battle UK, Mr. Mark Cram.
It's a pleasure to be here, guys.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
having
much
me.
for joining us. It's such a pleasure to have a guest in our, I say studio, it's my kitchen.
Am I the first guest?
You are the first guest.
Oh, wow, that's an honour.
This is this is the first time we're recording episodes after the episodes have started going out into the world. So there now might be a queue of people bashing down our door to try and take part in the podcast. But you are the first person who we've had on.
Comedians are quite attention seeking. You want to get loads of
They
people.
do enjoy a podcast.
Yeah, I don't personally, but everyone else can.
You told us you don't actually listen to podcasts.
Well, no, because every time I try to listen to a podcast, I'm like, I could be listening to music, so I just do that instead.
Fair enough.
Thank you for coming on.
Mark, so for the uninitiated, Mark, you're the most regular host we have at Roast Battle UK. But let's go back to the start. You are, unlike a lot of the comedians that take part in Roast Battle UK, you are a professional, full-time comedian. How did you get your start in comedy? How long ago did that start?
I did my first gig when I was at Northampton University.
How long ago was that?
That was 2010, so 16 years ago was my first ever gig. I was beaten in a talent show by a juggler. I don't know if that juggler went on to any juggling fame, because I'm not up with the community, but...
Is there such a thing as juggling fame?
I assume there's a famous juggler.
Yeah, well, probably.
Can't name any off the top of my head.
I think you make a good living as a juggler, though, like street performing and all that. But yeah, he beat me, and so did several other people. But I just think it's funny that I got beat by a juggler. But yeah, basically I started comedy because my flatmate, one of my best friends at university, a guy called Joe Bunn, who used to run gigs down in Worthing as well, people may be aware of, was very funny, and he started doing stand-up, and then I thought, oh, fuck it, I'll give it a go as well. So, I'm competitive like that. And I'm a professional now, and he's not.
Oh, wow. Throwing
Fuck
shade.
you, John Bunn?
Joe Bunn. He's a
Joe
lovely
Bunn.
guy. Shout out Joe Bunn.
So how long between starting stand-up comedy and getting involved in Roast Battle?
Oh, God. First time I did Roast Battle would have been pretty much more or less from the start. I think I was one of the regulars. Sam Russell used to do it a lot.
Yeah.
And then he sort of stopped, and I've sort of become the regular one since then.
When did Roast Battle start in the UK? We should know this.
In 2014?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
Over 10 years ago now.
I think, yeah, it's been a good decade of... Well, have a look, whatever Adam Green says.
It's whatever Adam says plus 5 years, I think.
Arbitrary numbers assigned by Adam Green.
Did you battle in the early days?
I've done 2 battles ever. I did one against my friend Carmen, and we were both awful.
Okay.
And I did one as someone was doing a football special, and I was an Arsenal fan, and I had to battle a Tottenham fan to make it about with James Regal, who's quite big on the Barcelona scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
think he runs the Barcelona show.
yeah,
doesn't he?
and he beat me because he's better. I'm not good at roast battling.
I've done one football-themed roast battle against Lee Hudson.
That was on the same night, wasn't it? Backyard?
Yeah. Backyard, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only one I've ever done, and it's I don't know anything about football, like in the slightest.
I think I judged one of those.
It was just Scotland versus England, really. So you didn't need to make it that much about football when it's Scotland versus England.
No, it seemed an easy jump on point. So you didn't do much battling yourself, but have become the most prolific host of the show.
Yeah, what I quickly realised is the host gets paid more money than everybody else. And I don't have to write any jokes, so I've got a really cushy job. I just turn up, get a little bit drunk, and call everyone in the room an arsehole. It's fantastic.
That works. What does it take to be an MC at a roast battle? Because you do a lot of MCing at other gigs as well. Like, what's the difference between MCing at a roast battle compared to a normal gig?
MCing as a job is something that you do at different speeds and different venues. So if I MC at queer gigs and art centres, which is obviously a little more nice and gentle, and then you do weekend clubs, which are a bit more aggressive, and then you get into roast battle, where the vibe of roast battle is very friendly because it's at the Bill Murray and Angel most of the time, and it's a very friendly natured sort of club. And every gig they do is quite friendly in nature. So I think Roast Battle nicely breaks that mold because the audience, I will just attack the audience from get-go in a way that I wouldn't do most MCing gigs. So it's kind of disengaging any filter I usually have and just go, I'm just going to say these things.
Okay.
Because I'm sick. Also, when I'm trying to set the tone that this is what the show is, there is going to be offensive shit and I'm going to say offensive shit to you.
Yeah, that's what I actually love the most about how you MC is you have a good balance of doing some crowd work, but also making sure that you have jabs at the audience through that so that they know exactly what they're getting into.
Yeah, and I genuinely have a disdain for most people who come and watch comedy. So
it's a healthy place to be as a professional comedian.
Once you become a professional comedian, that's pretty much how it goes. Thanks for paying my bills, but fuck you all.
What's the favorite thing you've said to an audience member at Roast Battle? Can you remember anything specific?
There's one from Friday Just Gone where there was a group of people in from Kent and they brought one gay guy with them and I'm like, well, he's the one that buys the drugs. And he had, basically, was the situation. Everyone knows that's how those work. That's how you keep a gay guy in tow. I am queer. I'm allowed to say these things. And I think, like, just generally just making fun of people wearing gilets I always enjoy, because what are you wearing a fucking gilet indoors?
Yeah, that does seem to be kind of a finance bro staple from their wardrobe.
Yeah, there was a little trend a while ago of people wearing bum bags around their shoulder and neck as well, which seems to have died now.
Has
but
it?
I see less of it now. But
It does seem a complete misuse of a functional item of clothing. I mean, I grew up in the 90s, so we used to wear bum bags actually around our waist, like God intended.
And also, like, way to advertise that you're carrying drugs. There's no other reason to have a bum bag around your shoulder.
Yeah, why does this man have a handbag? For what? His phone?
What else do you need quick access to?
Yeah, it's just, you got weed in there. Cool, man.
What type of audience makes a good audience at Roast Battle? What do you like to see in an audience, or what don't you like to see?
Roast Battle is kind of different to other because you do want them to be a little bit rowdy and happy to shout things out, but not get too involved. So you want that nice balance of they're up for it, they're rowdy, but they know once the show starts that they need to shut the fuck up. And generally, I think we find that balance quite well in the audiences. Every now and again, you have people that chat for the shows, and we try and deal with that. Because at the end of the day, it is an 11 o'clock at night show. They are going to be drunk. They are going to be, sort of party people, So you want a younger crowd generally as well.
Yeah.
Even though there is this criticism of the young people being too woke. But to be honest, I don't really see it when you actually are in comedy clubs. I know people say about university gigs, but I don't see it so much in clubs. I think they're willing to go with most things. And I think Roast Battle, although it is an offensive show, I think we know what the lines are. Yeah.
It's
like what we should and shouldn't say. That was, we've seen people go across them a few times, and but it usually gets addressed by the judges and stuff. So
like on Friday, where that guy had those 5 jokes that were 4 out of 5 of them were just jokes about trans people, as opposed to jokes about the guy who was battling.
Well, I think you said that felt more like a roast of trans people than a roast of your opponent.
And there was no need for any of that. Also, I don't even think we had this conversation later, where you were like, that's not even. Most of what he said about how Connor sleeps with trans people was not even true.
Yeah, and also like...
He got the biology wrong.
Well, then he kept saying that being sleeping with trans people makes you gay. It's like, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
It did feel of a different era. Like, it wasn't aimed at everyone in the room. But it's interesting what you brought up, that young people... there's an impression that young people are too woke for the kind of comedy that Roast Battle delivers. I always like to think of it that there's a kind of a built-in irony that people detect straight away, that this isn't the same as some comedians going up on stage where it feels attacking, mainly because you're talking about people who aren't in the room.
Yeah, we always put like a brown woman on a judging panel to make it look all right. makes the optics better, isn't it?
Why do you think she's on this podcast? But it is a fair point. There's I think having a diversity of people in the room, and the fact that whoever you're roasting, it's there by permission, and there's an irony that's tongue-in-cheek. I think, do you think the audience is sophisticated enough to kind of perceive that irony?
I think they get that, because most of us that do it, we're all mates and we all know each other, and it's all, it's all in good fun. There's very few times I've ever seen anyone get genuinely offended by what someone else has said about them on the stage. It's happened, but but those people usually being too thin-skinned rather than, and that's never usually a racial thing or a sexist thing. It's usually something they've attacked about them personally, and they feel like it's over the line. But people provide facts. You can insert them any way you want, really, don't you? But
Also, I was just going to say, also there's sometimes the flip side of things. Well, I've only seen it happen, I think, twice in the entire time I've done Roast Battle, where somebody's brought up something on stage that's not a fact that they have been provided with, but it's just comedy gossip that's been circulating.
Would you like to share any of those?
Well, there was one about... it was a male comedian and a female comedian roasting each other. The female comedian was friends with his ex-girlfriend, and then just did 5 jokes about how he cheated on her when he hadn't cheated on her at all. But it was just a rumor that they were spreading.
Oh, that's not very nice.
Yeah, but
That's not what roast battles
and then,
for.
the first 2 or 3 jokes, it was very personal. So the first 2 or 3 jokes were about how he cheated on her, and the last 2 were about how small and ugly his penis was. And then by the time you'd done the first 3 personal jokes, by the time it got to the 5th one, he was noticeably exasperated. Which is,
I also won't name the guy because first of all, I don't think anyone knows who he is anyway, so it's irrelevant. But there
yeah,
was,
he does roast battle.
but there was a young like open mic guy, and like he got outed on stage during the roast battle as being a creepy stalker or whatever it was, the accusation. And we're sitting on a judging panel going, oh, all right, like, this is.
None of us knew this.
But it got brought up, and every like young female comedian at the back of the room was going, yeah, like you're just like, it's crazy.
Also, what I feel very validly was when the person who books roast battle came up to me and said, "So you knew that he was kind of a weirdo?" And I said, "Yes, I did." And he's like, "Why didn't nobody tell me?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." Instead of watching that happen on stage, we could have just not had him on the lineup whatsoever.
And not have the drama? Fuck you, Shalaka.
Yeah, fair enough.
Don't take away one of the best moments we've ever had.
It was epic. It was great.
Do you have any particular favourite roast battlers who you love to see on a lineup?
Battlers. I always love Peter Baisley being on. Because Peter Baisley, I think you discussed him in your last episode. I was sitting there listening to you do it. But Peter's, he's not so concerned with winning or losing a battle. He's just trying to do something unique and interesting at the time. And it doesn't always work. Yeah. But he's not afraid to take risks and do something interesting with it. Ken Grinnell's obviously great. Always really solid jokes. Bang, bang, bang. He's really tight on his writing. Shalaka obviously has won roast battle twice and is very, very good. Who else do I like at the moment? James Milam as well. James Milam's really again another roast battle champion. So I'm just picking the winners, but like they're the winners for a reason. They win because they write very tight jokes. You know?
I was just sat here waiting for you to say me, and you didn't, and that's fine.
And Drew Stearne.
My favorite was when you looked directly into the camera like Jim from The Office.
I gymmed it up.
Who are your favorite roast battle characters as opposed to actual performers? It doesn't have to just be about their performance, like characters that you like to see.
Oh, Adam Green. You got
like
the show is worse when Adam Green isn't judging
I
it.
agree.
Like because he does his 2 jokes.
We've mentioned them in the past, and we will have Adam on, but we're of course talking to his. The main one is his repeating joke of how many years.
How many years was it?
Fucking Green! I'm Mark Cram. Now, I've been judging roast battle for about 5 years now. I've been judging roast battle for 6 years now, and for 7 years, for 8 years, 9 years, for
10 years.
10 years now, thank you. For 11 years now, and for about 12 years now. And I thought that was a great way to end roast battle tonight.
But Adam, the way that he judges roast battle, I find so funny because he largely just repeats the jokes that they've said, and it's just, that's a bit of a laugh. Remember that? It was a good time. but he's just, Adam is one of those people that's just funny no matter what he says. He could read you a phone book and he'd be funny. He's just like the slight inflections of the way that he speaks because he's quite monotone, and then there's just a little bit of ooh every now and again, which just for some reason I find really good. But Adam. Shout out Callum Ross as well, the organiser. Always a pleasure to see Callum. And if you haven't seen Callum roast battle, he's also very fucking good at it when he wants to do it.
I wish he'd get on more. I mean, I understand why he doesn't because he has 100 things going on.
He's come back recently and done 1 or 2, and it's been so good to see him up on stage doing them.
Steph Aratani, shout out, one of my best friends in comedy. She's always great to see. But I think I've made so many of my good friends like through the roast battle scene now. Like a lot of people I happily go drinking with. Patrick Brisnahan. Yeah. You know,
Patrick's also a fantastic judge.
Yeah, I hope he sees his wife and kids again one day.
Another classic running joke.
Yeah. Let me see my kids. Yeah, a classic one. I remember the weeks, we had a couple of consecutive roast battles, or maybe just one, but every one of his judging comments included something about missing his XL bully who had recently been put down.
Because that had been in the news quite a lot of that week, so it felt like a...
I remember the week of the Titanic submarine thing, he was just talking about how his uncle had got lost on it or something. It was just...
So we talk about consistency a lot, like consistency of character, and Adam has consistency by literally saying the same fucking thing.
Yeah, you can't get more consistent than Adam Green.
And Pat has a consistency by having this similar tone of character, and those are the kind of things, especially on a night that's always going to have up to 10 comedians, different every time, to have them really something anchors the show. That's yourself hosting, something that people are coming back time after time, that gives you something to latch onto. I think that really, I think it transfers. I think it's great to have a variety of judges, but having at least one of those judges who we see all the time, it's just, and you see the reaction that Adam's joke gets from the comedians in the room.
The comedians and anyone, there's that group that come quite a lot at the front, and they always get, when he gets going, it's like, 6. My favourite thing with that ongoing joke is every time there's always, and I'm not trying to be sexist here, but it is always a girl for some reason, will turn to her boyfriend and say, it was 6 last time. And you're like, yep, that's the gag. I don't know why, I always clock it, but there's always like one girlfriend going to her boyfriend, I'm just going up.
I think the first time I heard it, I was the same. I was like, I thought he said. So it rewards frequent flyers.
Yeah.
It comes back and
it happened on Friday where somebody said it so loudly that I think Adam said, "That's the whole joke. that's the joke. Congratulations."
These are the jokes, people.
Also, there's that clip of Adam. I think it's from one of the roast battle finals where we've all been drinking quite a bit, and he goes, "I've been judging roast battle for." And then somebody goes 10 years, and he goes 10 years.
Every now and again, when he's not done it recently, but he used to. Usually, when he's a bit drunker, he starts going whoop diddy doo down the mic for no reason.
I made a promo for Adam, which is like a countdown of his him doing all the years, and we included whoop-de-doo, just randomly in there. And it is a surreal night. It is a weird night, and it lends itself to those kind of character moments. As the host, I mean, you've got your kind of regular stick at the top, but you get your moment after each battle to get your kind of gag in. This is a battle between such and such and such and such before the judges get their comments in.
Which, by the way, you're great at those.
Those when I'm judging, those are my favourite things to do. So you get first crack before anyone's had a go.
Yeah, so I've consciously done that less over time because I found if I thought of that joke, I might be whipping a joke out from under a judge, and then they have to scramble and find something, and I see them doing it sometimes. I'm like, oh shit, okay, I've taken that joke. So I'll do it, but I'll try and go a little more avant-garde now with what I'm going to say, a lot off piece, because I'm not going to leave the low-hanging fruit just for the judges to have, and just go hit that. But yeah, it's nice. Some of them are very easy, but sometimes you're looking at two people and you're just like, I've got nothing for this. It's just like, so then you just hope it's a really good battle. So you can just go, that was a great battle.
What's that great battle?
The worst is when they're both terrible, and then you have to. I mean, what I do like about it is it's the only show where we can sort of just acknowledge them when something's been a bit shit. We can just go, well, that was crap,
Yeah, or sometimes you go, that happened.
Yeah, these battles will be of variable quality. I will remind people.
Classic.
I'd go one further. Not only can you do that, I think it's essential to keeping the night going.
Yeah, you need to do it.
And it's the only show where you can acknowledge. It's not like give it up for this guy, and the applause is just a final way for the person to leave the stage, because now they actually have to sit through the judging as well. So you have to set the scene and get the audience to relax and like, we all know it was shit. It's okay. No one's going to pretend here.
If you've ever watched a comedy show and someone's died on their ass, we know. But we're just not going to acknowledge it. We're not going to go on stage, hey, I thought he was shit too. All right, next. So.
I think it's the way in which you do it is nice, because it's acknowledging that shit, but it's in a friendly way. Like, I've seen judges before. I can't remember who this was. Well, I can. I'm just not going to say who it was. Telling two people who died on their ass during roast battle, for about 30 seconds he went on and on about how they should both definitely desperately kill themselves. And it just went on for just long enough where you're like, okay, enough now. And
those two people did know. From what I'm aware, we've never led to the death of a competitor.
Not yet.
Not yet.
The year is young, as it were. I would like to bring up a moment which I think was one of the funniest things that happened in recent roast battle history related to the host, where one of the punchlines.
Oh fucking hell!
Mark loves talking about
I love this story.
I bring it up not to be mean, just because I just want to play that clip, but it was so ridiculous and this goes to show how little audiences pay attention, that you had already established your name early on. You had established that you were a queer comedian, and someone has as a punchline that such and such had made this had turned Mark Cram queer. Was it your joke?
Jonathan Hogan's joke about
because of her disgusting pussy.
Yeah, my pussy
that was
so
it.
disgusting.
Shalaka's pussy is so stinky.
How stinky is it?
Shalaka's pussy is so stinky it turned Mark Cram bi.
Okay.
To silence.
Yeah.
And you could tell it's because no one in the room could remember who the hell Mark Cram was, except the judges and the comedians at the back, but the audience was dumbfounded.
Yeah, no, I just walked back on stage and went, you know what's galling about that is I'm Mark Cram. I will say the most galling part of that battle for me personally was that John made a joke about Mark Cram, and I could feel a lot of you in the audience going, who's Mark Cram?
My hopes were set on you.
And I have been here all night. Like, who the fuck is he even talking about? I'm sitting right there. And then they all laughed, and I was like, oh, good, so you just genuinely didn't have no idea it was me.
I really wanted to laugh at that, but they were just so desperately unaware.
Who the fuck is Mark Cram? And that's what I like most about my role in Roast Battle, because like I do the show every week, but because like the only things that really go out on the internet are battles and judging comments, the only thing you ever see me do is just say someone's name, and that's all, which is great, because I never had to be bothered or talked to, so that's
you kind of slip between the cracks.
Yeah, it's like.
But I think this is a delusion that a lot of comedians might be under, especially early on, that the audience gives two fucks about you in any shape or form, or can remember you 5 seconds after you've left the stage.
I was gigging with a very talented MC called John Wagstaff. If you've not seen, he's great. We were gigging down in Bristol, and it was his birthday. And he mentioned this at the start of the third section of the show. He'd been calling himself John all night. He'd been on the stage all night emceeing a long comedy show, full format. And they started singing happy birthday to him spontaneously. And as they got to happy birthday, dear, to a man in the room, they all went, not one person had retained the name John.
Oh, that's so sad.
Harsh. I mean, that's the inherent flaw in that song, that it does require you to. That happens in restaurants and stuff
also,
like that.
you could feel them panicking when they got to the name as well. You could be like, oh, we don't know this. We ain't got this.
Like, I know something's coming up. Like, if you don't even know how many syllables it is, that can be problematic.
I think audiences never retain comedians' names anyway, even famous comedians. Like I was describing a comedian to me the other day, this was a non-comedy friend. Oh, it's him, does this. And I realised after about 5 minutes of him trying to do it, was Rob Beckett. And I was like, oh God, if they don't know who he is, then Jesus Christ, the rest of us ain't got a fuck. Yeah.
He's one of the five.
Yeah.
Like, one of the five who's in
the one who stands next to Ramesh.
Is there a dream lineup of roast battles, or a combination of roast battlers fighting that you haven't seen yet that you'd like to see?
Have we had Helen versus Pia?
Ooh, that is a good question. I can't,
because I think there's like a low level of hostility between them anyway.
Because we've featured Peter and Helen actually in previous episodes, and for both of them we said this: you're not entirely sure which Peter or which Helen is going to turn up on any given night. My
favourite Helen Kay roast battle was when she was drunk. And it just made her much more bubbly. And she was like, hey! And was like, this is better.
Yeah. That's how she was on Friday.
Yeah.
She was the previous show. She was a lot lighter, a lot more bubbly. And I think the battle was excellent. Mm-hmm. Like, actually, it was really, really good. And Peter comes in a range. It's a spectrum of Peter, if you will. Like, from, is he going to be really dark and dismissive, or is he going to be really intense, or is he going to be doing an impersonation of Holly Ludlow? We just don't know in any given moment.
He pretended to be blind once. You remember pretending to be blind?
Oh yeah, that's a great roast battle. I mean, it's terrible, it's awful. Please, no one do this. But it was so funny. Other
things I'd like. Jessica mentioned to me the other day because she was talking about Michelle Shaughnessy versus Kate Barron. I want to see happen at some point, because that's something Michelle has mentioned wanting to do, and they are both absolute savages. Yeah. I don't think they've done any roast battle before, but I have an inherent belief they would just be great at it.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So I'd like to see that happen. I'd like to see Adam Green battle more.
So would I. I think he'd be great at roast battle.
I'm not sure I've ever seen him battle.
He's very good. He's not done it in a long time, but yeah.
You know what? I've never watched him do a roast battle either.
Yeah, I think because I've been doing roast battle for 4 years now. How long have you been doing it, Shalaka?
About 3 years now.
Yeah, so it could be that he stopped, or just became the kind of the permanent judge way after we started doing it.
I've been doing it for 4 years now. I'm doing an Adam Green, sorry. I just realised I've been doing it for 4 years now.
Also, the only battle I would consider doing is I want to battle Sakisa.
Oh, that would be
and we've talked about it a few times, and we've never got around to doing it. But I would like to battle Sakisa. Yeah,
Sakisa's a great judge and a great host of MC as well when she's done it in the
horrible person. Everyone thinks she's so nice, and you don't see behind the scenes.
There must be a version of roast battle where we can integrate actual wrestling as well, so it becomes a kind of combined verbal and physical wrestling thing.
We should do a crossover podcast.
Yeah.
Jerry Bakewell I want to see on the show at some point as well. He did it once in Edinburgh and was awful. But I think he was also battling someone who was terrible, so it was one of those that just never got around. But Jerry Baker was a big character I'd like to see on it as well. Yeah, that to speak in wrestling. Yeah, wrestling and roast battle would work well. We should think about that somehow.
If you're trying to sell roast battle to someone who's unfamiliar with it as a concept, because surely you may have said to people, I MC at roast battle, and you've had to explain what it is. How do you convey it? Because I find that a very difficult concept to concisely get across in a way that also makes it sound appealing.
Yeah.
Every time I do, people go like, that sounds horrible, so I'm clearly doing it wrong.
Firstly, when you say people who don't know what the format is, that you mean 80% of the audience that come to the show. They think they're just at a normal comedy show for like the first 5 minutes. You go, well, this is what's happening. Then they get into it, but it's great.
In fact, you have to do this every week.
You have to do this every week. I think it's... what's the best way of describing it? It's comedians making fun of each other, but done in a loving way from a community that genuinely seem to like each other and enjoy each other's company. So we can get away with being over the line and horrible with each other. But it's not... I've said particularly that if you haven't done it as a show, like a lot of the young comedians, I think, fear it as a concept as well. It's a lot of fun, and the worst thing you can do is die on stage, and that's the same as any other fucking gig.
Yeah, in fact, I've said if you die on stage, you usually only die as a pair, because if one of you is doing well, then you've still put on a good show.
Yeah.
And so you're unlike other stand-up where it's just you on stage, you've got someone to share a bad show with.
Also, laugh at the other person's jokes.
Yeah.
That's fine. That creates a better battle.
Yeah.
There are some very successful roast battle comedians who don't do that.
I'm thinking of one in particular.
We might all be thinking of the same one, but I agree with it. Well, and what I definitely also agree with is the sense of community that it has, like the group. I've been doing stand-up for a while, and in no other show have I actually made friends with people or actually kind of built any kind of connection with anyone.
I think that's more of a problem with you, though.
Yeah, we're only here because you got cameras, bro.
It's funny because it's true. No, but it's the place where even when comedians aren't performing at Roast Battle, they still want to come and just hang out at the back of the room and be there. And I don't see that any other regular gig.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be it still is, but like it used to be like a real comedians hangout back in the day, particularly when the Comedy Central show was on. Because cynically, the producers from the Comedy Central show used to come to the Roast Battle, so people would be there to try and meet the Comedy Central people. It's also not a great time to meet TV producers when we're all fucking drunk off our ass. But by the way, it is the drunkest show in comedy as well. It is. Me and Adam are never sober at that show.
Also, it's not just that. It's also the fact that most of the time it'll start at like 11 p.m. Which is when we're all done with our gigs. So you can actually hang out with.
Yeah, we've finished work for the night, so you know it's all right.
Yeah, and that there's the in the Comedy Cellar in New York. There's like the comedians table in the olive tree upstairs, and I feel like the kind of the corner of the bar or anywhere in the bar, the tiny bar at the Bill Murray is the closest that we have to that. Is a kind of a hangout on a Friday.
Except the typical view of that would be at the back of the room where they put no seats, so everyone has to stand butt to butt for 2 hours on end.
Also, there's like no tables in that venue.
Yeah, it's true. It's not as classy, but still, it is a little oasis, and it is so late at night, and we're there until they kick us out of the bar at 1 in the morning.
The Bill Murray is such a great sense of community. Anyway, I love the place, and and Big Belly now that we're doing it there regularly as well. And Top Secret when that happens as well. But
but that for me, my favorite period of time is actually at around 10:30 p.m. when we're all outside in the beer garden at the Bill Murray.
Well, just so you can get all the gossip from the week.
Oh yeah, I love. Shut up, you love that.
Yeah, I love that's what I'm here for. And unless it's not about me, then I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting around every conversation. I'm sitting around waiting for someone to bring me up. Why are we wasting time talking about this person? I fucking suck.
So I think we've sold the idea to new comedians that it is a show that is it's accessible. There's a good community. Everyone who's new, we welcome in new people all the time. But from someone who's seen more roast battles than almost anyone else, if you were giving advice to someone who wanted to give it a crack, like what are some of the things that they should try to focus on? What are some of the pitfalls that they should try to avoid?
Funny trumps offensive.
Yes.
Every single time.
Absolutely.
It's like the best you'll get from an audience if you just do an offensive line is a gasp. If you do a joke that is generally about that person in a way that's thoughtful and clever, like Christian's joke, I'm sure it's been mentioned on the podcast the other week, where Laura Walsh is, again, she's quite a demure looking girl, and he said his joke was essentially, I don't really know how to put this, but you look like you were conceived quietly. That sort of thing works so much better than just saying she's a whore. You know,
Which, to be fair, is most roast battles.
well, I got a big laugh from Drew there. But, so yeah, funny trumps offensive. It's okay to enjoy the other person as well. Like you're like, yes, it's competitive, but it's a team sport. The way I look at it as well, you're trying to make the battle good between you. Best example I remember seeing of that is Janine Haruni battled her boyfriend, I assume is now husband, and they battled each other, and they'd clearly co-written it a little bit, which usually I don't like, but they'd written it so tightly and so strongly to the point in the combat it was just really well done. So if it's collaborative, don't make it too collaborative when it's the sense of it just becomes like a GCC drama play. But you know, help each other out. Don't withhold facts to try and not give the other person ammunition. You know, answer questions, talk about, you know, it's just be collaborative with it.
Absolutely. I think the not focus on being offensive and be funny first. I think the favorite, if I can make you laugh with a joke, I know I've done well. And I'm fortunate enough that the one time I was battling, it was the guy with the haircut looked like Farquaad.
Oh, Spencer Bishop.
Spencer.
That's a very good description.
Spencer C. Bishop. I was battling him, and for whatever reason, you were sat kind of to the left of the stage, so it's in the camera shot, so we can see you. And I did a joke.
Spencer looks like the villain from every children's nursery rhyme. He tells me he has IBS, but in his case, I think it stands for Itsy Bitsy Spider.
And I got such a big laugh from you on that. When I watched the footage back, I was so proud of that moment, because it's the nicest, lightest nursery rhyme you could even tell it a primary school joke I've ever done.
I do like anything a little bit silly as well. When those get chucked into the battles, like, especially if they're well written like that is, it's just like, yeah, they're like that's good. That's better than, you know, just going at calling someone fat, or you know.
Oh, I've done that.
Oh, that's. I mean, that's a roast battle staple, because look,
We've all battled these.
the audience don't really know much about the people that are battling, so you have to go for the physical sometimes. You know, it's like,
this is precisely something that we brought up. Like the facts that you share, you first have to tell the audience those facts if you want to make a joke about them, for them to make any kind of sense whatsoever. But what they look like is what they look like.
I think there was someone, I don't know who it was, but like he had a beard, and like he told the guy that he had a beard, and then he shaved it off before the battle. That's such a dick move.
That's pretty bad. That reminds me of when Ken Grinnell dressed up in that kind of
Wakanda Forever.
that hat in the 2023 tournament.
Mate, I remember he's backstage before the show, and I think it's called the dashiki, what he was wearing, and it was like an African war thing, and he said he was wearing it to throw Lee off, and we were like, I don't think it's going to throw Lee off, and literally Lee's first comeback was,
"Thank you, Whack Panther."
Ken was just never recovering in that battle from there. It was over.
You could see it on his face. It was just right. And he was the defending champion at that point as well. So that was a big knockback. But that was a bit of a dick. And he's never done it since.
No.
Oh, you know what? You kind of touched on this and we never got into it. One of my pet peeves is the facts. Sometimes people make up facts on stage, which isn't great, but people do it. The number of times I've seen a roast battle where someone's made up a fact, and the person on stage is like, no, that's not true. It's like, no, just yes and. Just lean in.
Yeah.
In that moment,
You have to
true.
accept that they've made that up and just go with it. Unless you have a very funny comeback, you can't really deny
It was one, I can't remember who was battling, but they kept on saying the guy was from Brazil, and then he wasn't from Brazil.
I mean, that's different.
It's like, that's just what?
Yeah. I know which one. I think I was judging that one. I can't remember who they were.
But to be fair, that guy didn't say anything until like the end of the battle. He didn't like just derail the jokes. He just let it go. Because I'm not from Brazil, bro.
Helen Kay fell foul of that at the roast battle that was at the Fringe at the Monkey Barrel, and the person that she was battling just didn't give any facts, so like never shared them. So Helen just had to look at her stand-up and had pulled the fact that she was half Japanese. I think that was the ethnicity, or half Chinese, from her stand-up. But so she delivered that like it was a fact, and then got this look of absolute puzzlement from her, and she didn't look in any shape or form Asian. So the audience was like, that's a weird fact to make up. And now by the look on her face, she's saying she's not. So now half of Helen's jokes were about her ethnicity, which weren't right. And then at the end, Helen was just kind of left dangling in the wind, which is just absolute dick move.
That's brutal.
Yeah, different. I think she was from the US, and different countries do it differently. I think we do it more fairly in London. Like you should share proper facts, and most people do.
I think they get super competitive, the Americans, when they do it.
Yeah. I mean, Ed Mulvey. Have either of you battled Ed Mulvey?
I have, yeah.
He has some insane facts, and I'm like, these.
Isn't it like a piss jar or something?
Piss jars under his bed.
Yeah.
He collects
Teeth?
fingernails.
Fingernails, that was it. Yeah.
That he's like trimmed off.
See, sometimes the facts are just like. It would always sound like you made that up.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't work. Because whenever people make jokes about those things, everyone's like, he doesn't do that.
That's what means it, like, they can't be so weird that I'm not sure if it's true. Like, Ryan Cullen has a joke where a fact where he's been hit by a car 4 times. And I'm like, yeah, but I know Ryan. That seems about right. He's a fucking idiot. I can believe that.
The same car?
It was one incident, just kept rolling over him. At what point does it become your fault?
Yeah.
I'm always surprised about which facts that I deliver end up being the ammunition for jokes. Like I find it hard writing facts about myself because, to quote Helen Kay, you're fucking boring. Yeah. So it's difficult for me to figure out what would be good to put down, and I constantly change it. And the thing that comes up more often than anything else, porn, not as much.
Oh, interesting.
Rubik's Cube.
Oh, of course.
I can solve a Rubik's Cube, and I just put that in there because I can. I thought that'd be an interesting fact. So many people have made jokes about it.
Super fast?
Not super fast, a minute. I can solve one in a minute, which is a reasonable... for anyone who can solve it, that's about the baseline.
I can do it, but I have to do like the rhyme, the shepherd calls the dog back thing in your head.
It's a rhyme?
It's a rhyme?
Well, not a rhyme, but it's like a talk through points. It's like, the dog goes away, the shepherd calls it back, the whistle brings it back through. It's just about how you turn.
Like
this is not what this podcast is about.
Like for tying your laces. Like
but for like a Rubik's Cube, like every single step has its own sort of memory device to it.
Oh, I just remembered the algorithms like a fucking nerd. I feel maybe I should try these things. But that and I about 6 months I started taking a ridiculous amount of supplements.
Oh yeah.
That comes up every single time. I didn't think there'd be much in that. Turns out there's loads. The fact that I used to work in porn, less and less. It's still on my list. Hardly ever comes up.
I don't think comedians have a begrudging respect for that more than anything.
Maybe it's. I think because it's so ridiculous, I struggle to write material about it for my stand-up because I find it really hard to get the audience to identify with it. It was a very weird job to have. Yeah. So I get why other people can't write jokes about it, but some people, their facts are dreadful, just so bad, and that could be out of just not knowing what to share. Ken's next battle is against Onoje, who's it will only be his second battle, and his first one was against me. He hadn't shared his facts with Ken yet, so Ken asked me for them, and I sent him the list, and Ken just wrote back, "Oof, you had nothing to work with." Yeah. 3 of them were like his age and what he did at school, and that he's from Nigeria. So I had to just troll through his Instagram account to find anything useful there.
It seemed like you're going into Nigerian stereotypes very quickly.
I went to all the racial stereotypes, not even Nigeria, just Africa in general. Yeah. It was. I did not come across as a well-balanced human being.
African generals usually send you the email as well.
What would be your what facts? Give us 3 or 4 that you would share if you were doing it.
Oh God, so about you drop the bisexual thing in there. That's easy to poke fun at. Used to own a digital consultancy company. Oh God, is there anything interesting about me? I can also solve a Rubik's Cube.
But you
Arsenal fan? That's something people can make fun of.
I own over 100 hats.
Yeah.
You do own a lot of hats.
I do own a lot of hats.
Or have a wrestling podcast?
I am a massive pro wrestling fan. That's probably stuff like that. Yeah, I had to sit down and actually do it properly, but yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
When I did it with Carmen, we didn't bother sharing facts because we just know each other, so we just sort of we just got on with that.
So for everyone who's on the even remotely related to the roast battle circuit, I keep a note on my notes app open to write jokes about when I think about it. And just because I've never seen you battle and I've only ever seen you MC, I've never thought to write any for Mark Cram.
This is why I'm bulletproof on the show. No one makes fun of me.
But yeah, I feel like I should maybe start just on the off chance that you dip your toe back into the roast battling.
Can't imagine I'm ever going to battle a lot. If I might be able to do a one-off, but I just prefer to host it.
It does give you kind of an air of familiarity, like deep familiarity with roast battles. Like no one will know more about roast battles than you, but also no one will have anything particularly to point at about like any good or bad battles in the past.
No one can point to my failures because there aren't any, but there are also no successes. So
This is it. Like, I always feel a little bit as a fraud judging at Roast Battle because someone only has to do a very basic internet search to find some very poor performances.
You're a good battler. You've won a lot of battles.
I've won a reasonable amount of battles.
You've got enough authority to judge.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen people with way less authority judging those roast battles.
It happens. But as you say, hosting pays more than performing, and so does judging. So
Yeah. We're just going through the paybacks here.
We are all about the money here.
yeah. Well, I think that unless you have any... I've covered everything.
What's your favourite colour, Mark?
What, I'm a person?
No.
Roast
Battle has rotted your brain. I was trying to think of a
Racial
nice,
place.
light question to ask you to wrap this up.
I like red. I'm a red person.
Oh, so am I.
So red's your favourite colour for
Yep.
Arsenal or the Native American people? Which one are we going with?
Blood.
Perfect.
Neither of them.
Fantastic.
Well, Mark, thank you so much for being the first guest on the Hardlines podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure having you in. A reminder for people that if you want to see Mark performing as the MC at Roast Battle, tickets are available at roastbattle.co.uk/tickets. And you can follow Mark Cram on Instagram at
Mark Cram Comedy.
Mark Cram. That's Mark with a K and
Cram with a C and comedy with a C.
Sure, yes, otherwise there'll be 3 Ks in there. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us in the next episode. We'll be back to dissecting the roast battle round by round, showing you what it takes to write and perform the best insult comedy in the world. But until next time, thank you very much, Mark.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks a lot, Shalaka.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.